Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my very lovely co-host, Marcie.
Hello.
All right.
You're so sick of me already.
We're 30 seconds into recording this episode, and I'm already potentially over it. But we can get started. I guess we could talk about some Leafs off the top of the show, as we always do. Even though they did not play a game between our last show and today, between Monday's show and today, but it's all right. They did like we mentioned last show. They went up on their team bonding trip up to the Muskokas and Bracebridge, which
Oh.
I can't. Okay, look, it looks really fun. I mean, they go up there. I think they've been going up there like every year for a while. They've been doing Bracebridge as their like team bonding trip that they do during camp. They get a couple practices. It's great for the community as well. They get to see, the team practice, and they get to experience that and have fun and maybe meet the players. Crowd turnout looked great. And get to enjoy the lovely weather in Muskoka. They actually had really nice weather, and I'm pretty jealous. Actually, considering it rained all day yesterday here in Ottawa. I know it was. I also could not figure out what the weather was because they were all dressed for like different temperatures.
Yeah, there was a big
There was a
range of outfits.
If you looked at the if you like looked at because the Leafs posted walk-ins, it was glorious. It was great. I felt alive. If you looked at those,
I felt
like you had
again.
Ranges from like whatever Connor Dewar was wearing, where it was like I honestly was considering wearing basically that exact outfit that day like, before I had even gotten dressed.
Variations of that exact outfit.
Literally, that is my entire closet. And for those who haven't seen it, he's wearing like a hoodie that very much hoodies. I want that hoodie.
It hoodies so hard. I need to know.
It hoodies so hard. It was like it got to like that's what I got Simon for Christmas last year was a hoodie that hoodies because that's what he wanted. It was a really nice one. It was a nice one from Roots. I went on such a hunt for a hoodie that hoodies. I literally went through the entire mall looking for one. And I finally did. I found a really nice one from Roots that he still wears. It's actually a very similar color to this one that Dewar is wearing, this like dark green. Can I say I like that color? I actually do. And like what I think is like what appears to me like a pair of black vintage 501s, which all I'm saying can solve literally like all of their jean dilemmas. And they're like, I can't find pants that fit me. All they need is a good pair of vintage 501s. All their problems will be solved.
And all our problems will be solved when they do start wearing them.
when they turn in the skinny jeans.
I look forward to the day.
It's like, please, like, I don't want to see your phone outlined through your front pocket, Chris Tanev.
Yeah. It's a rough one.
But it was like, it ranged from like that, like the full like hoodie look to like Grabenkin wearing like a tank top and shorts.
Yeah, I don't even have words.
Also, no one ever I didn't see any comments on Twitter from anyone about Simon Benoit's Birkenstock look. With, I think those are cuffed like slim fit jeans or like a cargo pant of some sort and like a quarter zip. It's an aggressively bad outfit. It's the last slide. It's in like the background of the picture of David Kampf on that post.
Oh wow, I haven't had time to process that.
No one has
What?
commented on this yet, and I'm this close to just bringing it up and being like, no, no, no. We actually have to roast these guys for their bad sense of fashion. Like, David Camp
Please
is, I
put the
think,
dogs
wearing. Oh,
away.
he's wearing New Balance dad sneakers. Because I think my dad owns those shoes.
As he should.
I'm
Although
sorry. Like, this is
here's kind
just
of his t-shirt though. I
the
kind of
black.
want it. Yeah, it
No,
has
because that fits really nicely,
a
actually.
proper t-shirt.
That is a very similar fit to a t-shirt I bought my dad for Father's Day.
Maybe I just want to dress like a dad.
No, I bought it for my dad because I thought that he would really like the graphic on it because he's a big graphic t-shirt guy and he always ends up just ruining his graphic
Oh
t-shirts
my god,
because
wait,
he
no,
wears them to do work in.
no, because now you told me he's a big graphic t-shirt guy. That makes so much sense, and I love that for him.
I actually no, I'm not gonna because he does listen to the show. I'm not gonna expose the fact that I've been on a rotation of gifts for him for like his birthday, Christmas, and Father's Day.
You've exposed yourself now.
Yeah, no, I have. Maybe I'll just cut that part of the episode.
No, no, no.
No, because he's gonna actually put it together that it's I mean, if he's paid attention to what I've bought him over the years, it's very easy to
It's still
put it.
thoughtful.
It is thoughtful because they are
It
things that he
means you
likes.
know what. Yeah, it means you know what he really wants.
Yeah, but I did buy him a t-shirt. Honestly, if I were to bet, it's either aggressively like a designer t-shirt or it is just a heavyweight cotton t-shirt from like Abercrombie.
Mm.
Which
The
like
more
I need to take like half these guys through an Abercrombie, I swear to God.
the more I look at Connor
Not you,
Dewar's,
Connor Dewar. Not you,
but
Connor Dewar.
the more I look at his
You
hoodie,
already dressed like
the sadder. I saw online the other day that looked exactly like it hoodied in the exact same way that hoodie hoodies, and it didn't ship to the UK. And I think I nearly
where was it
cried.
from?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember now. I got so mad that I just deleted the tab.
It must be like what doesn't but like even like okay, Matt
It
Murray
was
is like fine.
Matt. He's got his thighs out, and that I can appreciate.
He's got his thighs aggressively out.
And I can appreciate that.
Air Force Ones, white tube socks, and the essentials long sleeve pullover thing. That's a weird he's big into the mock neck.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah,
up mock neck. Okay, I see we're experimenting with mock necks.
they're pushing the boat out.
Hey, at least if you look in the one where it's like it's not the one of Callie Yarncrook, but the one of actually it is just Matt Murray. Zoom in onto the back of who's getting off the bus.
Wait, am I looking at
Way back. AK, look at Jake McCabe's shoes.
Yeah, I'm
If you are listening to this and you're not driving, I very much recommend that you go and look at the post that is for on the Maple Leafs Instagram page with the caption "What's up, Bracebridge?" It's from like a day ago. You'll know which one it is. It's them like walking out of this bus in this coach bus in Bracebridge. And
I
just
don't have
follow
words, I'm just
along as
deeply
we
upset.
swipe through this and just zoom in on different parts of each picture and just absolutely roast these guys. Hey, look, okay, the reason why we're doing this is because the Leafs headshots came out the other day, and they're all like fine. Like there's none that are like that bad. They're all pretty good. And so I was like fully ready at like 11:30 at night to absolutely chirp these grown men to death for their headshots. And the only one I could manage was Connor Dewar because he has a chocolate milk stain as a mustache. And it's upsetting because I know earlier in the summer he had a great mustache going.
He did.
So he obviously knew how long it takes him to get to that stage of mustache. And when he decided to shave, he didn't give himself enough time to get back to having a good mustache. Instead of just shaving it off for the headshot so it doesn't look like a chocolate milk stain, he decided to keep it.
I have one question. That is, why does Joseph Wall just look like permanently just really snug? Like every outfit
I
he's
don't know,
worn.
but like Matthew Nice is an aloe is a full aloe fit. Are you talking to Connor McDavid with the aloe head to toe aloe?
Yeah, big fan
And
of the
then
t-shirt. That looks
well
like
then
a t-shirt.
and then you got Easton Cowan in the Lululemon. He's my kind of guy. Big up Lululemon. I will say I have yet to like invest in a Lululemon hoodie, and I feel like they are hoodies that like hoodie. I just have yet to invest into one because they're very expensive. And I tend to invest more into like the leggings because I wear those for skiing all the time and doing other
Yeah.
things. Whereas like hoodies, I can
I was
also
just
get a hoodie that hoodies for cheaper somewhere else.
I love how I'm agreeing with you talking about Lululemon. Like I've ever
Never
shopped.
even like
I
you've never even walked into a store.
I've I've never. Do they even have
I think you guys do have a Lululemon. I don't think you have one in Manchester though.
Oh wait,
But
we
I
do.
think you do have a Lululemon. Why did I take you into the Lululemon and just like scour the sale rack? That's my that's the only way you could really like shop
There's
Lululemon.
two.
There's two. Huh. But like because
Yeah, there's one on the side.
I have bought very few pieces from Lululemon like full price because they have a really, really good extensive like sales section. Like there's a whole section of their website called We Made Too Much, which is just like the sales section. And everything like they usually will have like a lot of their main styles, like not so much in like the main like black and white colors, but like
Yeah.
in a lot of the seasonal colors that I tend to buy my workout gear in because if I'm going to the gym, I want to be bright and colorful and fun.
Oh.
Tend to be like in those colors, so then I buy them in those colors. And then but also as well in Ottawa, we have there's a Lululemon outlet out by the outlet mall that's across from the CTC, and there's a Lululemon outlet store in there, and they will have and I'll every time my mom comes and drives into town, we'll drive out there and go and shop and whatever, and I'll usually end up buying something because I will always find something that I want and slash or need.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
I'm yet to
I'm
invest.
95% sure last time I was in there, I saw Zach McEwen buying pants with his girlfriend. Like Zach McEwen from The Sens. Which doesn't surprise me. I'm not shocked. There was a moment where I was looking at this guy. I was like, I know you from somewhere, and you look like a hockey player. You, like, yeah.
You are guaranteed to be a hockey player.
Yeah. Also, like,
Yeah.
John Tavares with the Whole Foods bag. Yeah, he would shop at Whole Foods.
He
Um,
he's dressed so aggressively dad.
well, he's wearing an aloe hoodie, and I'm 95% sure those pants are
Very
either
tight.
aloe or they're
Yeah.
Lulu. They're also very tight, and I feel very weird zooming into. I'm trying to see if I can see any logos. I think they're Lululemon. I got really look. My dad has again once again exposing my dad on the podcast. It's fine. Um, he owns about like 12 pairs of the same Lululemon pant, just in different colors.
You know what? I deeply respect that because
He has found what works for him, and and that makes him actually pretty easy to shop for. Um,
no, he's so real for that because I did that with jeans. I found a pair of Levi's that I really, really liked how they fit. So I got them in black as well as blue.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I have about three. Yeah, three, because I had to go through and had to get rid of ones that don't fit me anymore. But I have about three pairs of the same style of jean that they no longer make from American Eagle. They don't make this style anymore, and I got really upset by it to the point where I then had to go find a pair that like a style that I like just as much, and I ended up finding one from Hollister, but about three of the same style in different colors.
Real.
because of how much I liked the fit of them. And then they stopped making them. And so then I had to find a new pair, and I was really upset by that when I realized they had stopped making them.
Yeah, I hate when they
But
do them because they always stop
it's the
making them just after you
worst.
found them. It's like always the
Yeah.
worst timing.
I know, but why, like, Joseph was wearing sweatpants. Why is he wearing sweatpants?
He's just a cozy girl.
But like, why? And they all had like matching hats. I feel like they got gift bags. Now, at first, guys, I thought that they all hit up the same, like, gift shop when they got there. Like, they all ended up there and they're like, let's all hit up the gift shop. And they all bought matching hats, which is adorable. But then there was the video that the Leafs posted of them like answering the question of like, what is like, how old is old? Which was a very funny video. And then you can see that actually, no, they all have little Leaf logos on the side. So that makes me think they're custom because they say Muskoka forever in reference to the Leafs slogan, which is Leafs forever. So they all got little gift bags. Which wag was putting together the gift bags?
The people need to know.
Was it like a joint effort between like Aaron and Steph or something? Like it's got to be like one of the two, like one of them.
Yeah.
Who like has like one of the guys who has like a compound up there, which I know like half of the team does. But yeah, no,
the people need to know.
People need to know as I like deeply analyze all their outfits and everything. I also am like always interested by the shoes as well.
Yeah, there's a range.
I mean, I know like some guys are wearing like Nike, some of them are New Balance is a big one as well. Some of them are like weird old like dad sneakers. None of them have them like actually tied up though. Well, no, okay, that's a lie. Matt Murray does. Thank you, Matt Murray. But like, I just can't. I know they have. I know it's they're going from like wherever they're staying, which is either like one of the various like Leafs like compounds, a hotel, to the bus, to the rink, where they're then taking them off and putting on skates. But like, I can't walk with my laces undone. I can't. I like my shoes tight.
Yeah, you see, usually I'd agree, but like, especially when I'm on like my field work day, if I'm going from my tent to like the house, I'm not lacing my boots up. I'm just going for it. Also, I need to know so desperately which way Joseph Holl ties his shoes. Does he do the two loops, the little bunny ears, or does he do one and then the little wrappy?
I do neither.
How do you tie your laces?
Do I have shoelaces in here? I don't think I have I don't keep my shoes in my room. Hold on. No, because I don't want to cut any. Oh, hold on. I'll tie the strings of my notebook together. How about that? Ready? So I tie them.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not high enough. Hold on. Okay. Can you see?
Yeah.
Like that.
What the fuck did you just do?
Like essentially witchcraft. Ooh, I can do it with my headphones. That maybe actually be easier. Hold on.
I am so confused.
We have no visual element to the show unless I decide to go and edit a clip, and I'm not gonna do that because I'm too lazy to do that. But okay, ready?
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have to get myself enough string. And then take them. Loop.
What is that?
Shout out to my friend from like all the way from we went to school since like elementary school together. We've gone and then all the way through up until we graduated high school. But we were really, really good friends in middle school. Shout out to my friend Claire. She's the real one who would tie her shoes like that. And then one day in middle school, I think it was like we were in the library for lunch or something because we were library helpers, and she taught me how to tie my shoelaces like that.
Right.
So shout out to Claire for that, because
I'm
it
gonna
is now
do
like
my
the only way I
shoelace.
tie my shoelaces. So it's
So
you take them
this is how, and then I get one loop.
It's so smooth and it's
and just twist it around.
No, mine are so faster.
Well, yeah, but you just
once your fingers are on one side, your fingers on the other.
How do you do?
And then you just so this is on the front, this is on the back, so they're on opposite sides, right? Bring them together. Pinch the opposite lace through the middle because they cross, right? So you pinch the opposite lace and then you pull. And it makes a little bow.
No. I don't
People are gonna have no visual reference to that for this whatsoever. And they're gonna not know what's going on, and there's gonna just be like 5 minutes of us talking about how to tie shoelaces. No, my way's faster. I'm surprised I didn't notice that when I was staying with you.
Well, I'm not being funny.
We traveled. We spent 2 weeks straight together. We spent like 24 hours together for like 2 weeks.
I don't tend to like intently watch people whilst they're tying their laces.
Oh, we spent 2 weeks together. Literally, we spent 24 hours a day together for 2 weeks. The longest we went without like being in the same room is when one of us would take a shower.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks.
we somehow didn't get sick of each other, which I'm very impressed by to this day. Because I guess
I'm pretty sure Cal thought. No, literally, I'm pretty sure Cal thought we were gonna end up murdering each other at one point.
Yeah, my mum did say, she was like, I really hope you two get on, and like 2 weeks is a long time to be together. And I'm like, 2 weeks is just the start of the rest of our lives.
Okay, you can't say that.
Happy boyfriend day. Oh, you love me, really?
Do, but
there's no but in this. Oh dear. But yeah, I've missed just really judging what they've been wearing. It's been too long, and it's a sign that we need to bring back the walk-in pics. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Yeah, I do wish they'd bring back, because I really do enjoy judging hockey players for their fashion sense. Like, they get paid enough that I am allowed to do this.
It's like, I always like seeing which suits are their favorites, like which ones do they wear all the time.
Yeah, because they all have, like, you have a favorite suit. It's like a favorite pair of jeans. I have a favorite pair of jeans.
Yeah, which is the emotional support suit? The people need to know.
Which one has Mitch Marner been wearing on the road for the past 3 years?
Oh god.
And it's always fun too when they get a new suit and you can tell because you're like, I haven't seen that one before.
I like when they experiment with like mixing patterns. And like when Matthew
Nyes pattern mixer. Matthew Nyes and his like pattern mixing.
Bring back
Matthew Nyes and his emotional support water bottle.
Bring back Matthew Nyes and his floral shirt.
Joseph Wool and his green 3-piece suit.
Yes.
It's great. It's great. I do love the suit pics. I think also as well from like not just like a fan perspective, but also from like a social media like marketing a team perspective. It is the easiest way to just farm content because people will always interact with the suit pics.
Yeah. Literally.
You're guaranteed to get interactions when you post suit pics because like fans just love that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you'll either have people being like, "Oh my god, love the suits," and like losing their minds, or you'll have like
people absolutely roasting the. You'll have a menswear guy absolutely flaming them for bad suits, for badly
And then
tailored
you'll
suits.
have 50 other people who think they're menswear guy. Also, absolutely roasting them for the suits. But yeah, bring back walking pics, please. Pretty please. Also, everybody cheer because I don't sound as ill this time.
No, you do sound much better. Yeah, we also got like headshots. They were all pretty great. They were fine. Like, they were good. They were headshots. I mean, I did spend about 5 minutes trying to figure out what was like, because something looked off with Austin's, and I spent 5 minutes looking at it before realizing that it's the first time I think I've ever seen him smile in his headshot in about
I I was sort of staring at it,
8
being
years.
Like, has his hairline just receded further?
I know, I thought that. I was like, did his forehead get bigger? And then I realized, I like looked back through his other headshots because I was like, what changed? No. He's actually just smiling for the first time.
It's a miracle.
I was like, what is going on?
Austin Matthews smiles for the first time ever.
Austin Matthews. But yeah, more Leaf stuff. So they had a practice while they were up in the Muskokas, where Tavares, Yarncroc, Hakempa. Oh my god, this name is gonna mess me up all season. It's all Brad Treliving's fault. This is awful. I hate this. And Dewar took part in full practice, all of them not wearing no contact jerseys, which is great. We love that. That's fantastic. Also as well, Ben Danford, who was sent back to the Oshawa Generals, was named team captain of the Oshawa Generals. Congratulations, Ben. That's really exciting. That's like the second. I mean, same thing happened to Fraser Minton last year with the Kamloops Blazers, and then he got traded to Saskatoon like 4 days later.
Yeah. Short but sweet.
But yeah. Also as well, we got some movement when it comes to, like, this is the movement that we've been hinting at, I think, for the past week, that we were kind of expecting, was players getting sent down in preparation for the Marlies camp. That's, I think, technically started like Tuesday. But yeah, players sent down to the Marlies. This is all via Leafs PR. I'm just gonna run through it. Maple Leafs forward Nick Abruzzese has been placed on waivers for the purpose of reassignment to the Marlies. That is expected. I think it's something to do with, because I don't think he's on a two-way. But he hasn't played any games in the NHL. It could be an age thing. And the following players have been reassigned to the Marlies. I don't know any of their first names except for like 2. It's most of like the third development skating group, but it was like Barbolini, Frasca, Gosselin, Kressler, Lazowski, Master Simone, Sikic, Solo, Stevens, White. Those are all the forwards. The defensemen, Anderson, Bengtson. I didn't know we had him signed to a contract. McCleary, Miller, Parsons, Sharp, Villeneuve, and then the goaltenders, Gillies, Hildeby, and Pesca. No surprises. I think for me, like, the biggest shock out of that list is that they didn't send Brandon Lazowski back to Saskatoon. Because I think he was named an assistant captain there. So they obviously are making room for him as an overager because he's 20. But because he was given the A there in Saskatoon. I saw that post from the Blades. But they've decided to invite him to the Marlies camp, which is actually big for a guy who like was not signed. Like, he has not been signed to a contract. The Leafs actually no longer retain his signing rights. He's free to go sign wherever else he'd like, but it is actually really nice of the Leafs to keep Lazowski, like, keep inviting him to camps, and it seems like they're still putting effort into his development. It just, like, after the 4 years since he's been drafted have passed. Not 4 years. Whatever. 3 years. But he, like, Yeah, he is like they've lost his signing rights, but like they still want to put the effort into his development. It just seemed like they weren't ready to sign him yet. I don't know if he'll get a contract, perhaps. We'll see. Who knows? At least like we probably won't see him play up with the Leafs this for a while, but we may see him down the road as a depth piece. Who knows? But he's probably the only interesting name off that list where I'm like, oh, they didn't send him back to Saskatoon. Like he's joining the Marlies camp, which is cool. I'm trying to think of like anything else. Yeah, so to note, Cowan's still part of the Leafs main camp. Grabankin as well. They both play tonight, as well as we get to see Topi Niemela, Toby time, tonight against Detroit.
How I missed time.
Toby time. But yeah, so Cade Weber as well. We still will continue to get to see him. He is a big guy. Oh my god, I forgot he was 6'7". I forgot. We just acquired a bunch of large defensemen. I forgot about that. But yeah. So I'm trying to think of anything else to add about this, because there was something I wanted to add about. Oh yes, I think because I know people did have questions about this. It's like, why wasn't Fraser Minten? He obviously is not going to play anytime in the near future because high ankle sprain. Like, why hasn't he been sent down to Marlies? And I think some of it has to do with some fine print that exists in the CBA, where if a player is associated with it could be a pay thing. So they can put high ankle sprain on LTIR. And it also allows him, I think, in the way that the CBA works, it gives him different ways in how he can, like, I don't know, I can't remember if it's housing, which he may not need if he's still living in John Tavares' basement, but it could also just be like access to like the Leafs medical team instead of having to use the Marlies medical team. I would have to go back through the CBA and read it, but I do know there is a section about like if a player is injured, what they get from what they have access to from the team at the majors level versus at the minors level. And so it's just that it's like once the season starts and they have to, build their 23-man roster and everything, they can put him on LTIR with the Leafs and give him that extra support as well. And I guess that's kind of like the magic of having like both teams exist in the same city, like having your AHL affiliate exist in the same city as your NHL team. But
it's helpful.
Yeah, it is helpful. Yeah. That's all it is. It's purely simple, probably just because why would you waste the energy in doing the transaction where you can keep them up, put them on LTIR when you need the cap space in about a week.
Yeah.
Because I think there's about 3 waiver days left before you have to lock in your roster at 23 players. So we'll start to see a lot more movement, at least probably not from the Leafs, but more so from maybe from the Leafs as well. But we've seen it a lot from other teams as well, just in the past couple of days. If you've paid attention to the various swarms of guys getting put on waivers. Other Leafs things, tonight, preview the game tonight against Detroit. Justin Holl's in the lineup.
Yeah, he is. Justin Holl.
I get to spend 60 minutes making fun of Justin Holl's skating. Let's
go.
What?
When he scores a goal, that'll shut you up.
He didn't score a single goal last year in 39 games.
Because he was saving his goal power for tonight. He was saving it for when it mattered.
Look, Justin Holl, it's like Justin Holl, Owen Power. There was a guy I was watching last night who I was also insulting his skating, where I was like, oh, Joel Eriksson-Ek. He also skates like a moose learning how to walk. If you've ever watched him skate, it's just not smooth. And I've talked about this before because then I was like, but look at Matthew Nyes. He's a guy who is big and large and has like worked on and actually looks very smooth when he skates. But also as well, I do want to hold on. There was, which I then found out it's because he spent all summer working with like a skating coach.
And it worked.
Turns out, like literally, like, because I was like, oh, I wonder what. And then there was some quote, and I'm trying to find it. There's from Lee's latest. Blah 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 blah. That yeah. During the offseason, Matthew Nyes took a trip to Europe with his family before returning to Minnesota to train for 2 months with his former strength coach, Cal Dietz. Their main focus was on improving Nyes' power and speed. Dietz, who's worked with hundreds of NHL players over the years, praised Nyes as an exceptional athlete, calling him a unit. At 227 pounds. At 227 pounds, Nyes' explosive abilities stood out. The Maple Leaf strength coach Luis Rojas collaborated closely with Dietz, even traveling to Minnesota to develop a customized plan. One key goal was improving Nyes' first step through specific isometric exercises. I don't know what that means. As much as I was talking about biomechanics and like knee joints and injuries last episode, I am a comms major, not a kin major. Nyes noted these drills made me faster and gave me a better first step while also refining his agility and skating posture with the Maple Leaf skating coach Paul Matheson. That was via Jonas article by Jonas Siegel in The Athletic. But yeah, no. And I think you can see a little bit of the difference. He is now like he is so smooth to watch, and it's something that is very rare for a lot of the larger guys in the league. And it's just because like that's how skating works. Like there's more weight to move when you are a larger guy, so it's harder for you to have prettier skating. But Matthew Nyes is very beautiful skater.
No, my favorite way that I was thinking today, like, how do you describe how Matthew Nyes skates? And you know how much I love my slightly weird comparisons. Matthew Nyes skates like a really nice oat milk latte tastes.
This makes no sense.
It makes sense. For some reason, you're so done. But it's like, because it's like, if it's a really nice oat milk latte, it's really like just smooth and it's just really nice.
So if you guys thought my baby moose learning how to walk comparison was bad, this is it makes something else. Sure. Yeah, so the roster tonight versus Detroit, because they are in Detroit, is mostly Marlies with a couple of Leaf, like I think Yarncroke's getting in there. Bobby McMahon, Nick Robertson, just some guys who could use some extra looks. I think even defensively, it is like Timothy Liljegren and then a bunch of Marlies.
It's just Marley central.
Timothy Liljegren is your veteran defenseman on that roster tonight. But yeah, like Steven Lorentz, who honestly, like, I love watching Steven Lorentz's media availability. He is such a joy. He brings such fun. He brings such a positive energy to like Leafs media, and Leafs media like right now love him. And I really hope that like if he does sign a contract and stay in Toronto, which I really hope he does, because I love him as a depth piece for this team. I think they can build like such a great like bottom six, like fourth line, 8th, 13th skater sort of situation that you can rotate through. Because you can't play Ryan Reeves 82 games. I don't know if you would necessarily even play like David Kampf. Like, who knows if David Kampf is still going to be here or if you're going to be able to manage to trade him. Who knows? But yeah, just, I mean, move him up a little bit. But yeah, just Steven Lorentz. if you've yet to go watch a Stephen Lawrence media availability, go watch a Stephen Lawrence media availability. He's such a joy.
Fun.
He's so happy. He's so fun. He's cracking jokes. It's just great. But yeah, so that's that. For goalies, it is Stolarz and Akhtyanov. I think I said that properly. I'm so bad with names. This is the one last episode that I didn't know because I didn't have it right out in front of me, but it's him and Stolarz tonight in net. We'll probably primarily see Stolarz probably take the full game, I think, because has Stolarz played a full game?
No.
Yes, I think he has. Or did he? It was one because he played against Montreal. Did he split one of the Montreal games? Or did he play the entire? I don't. But yeah, he'll get the full game, and so Joseph will probably play Saturday against Detroit and Toronto before then the home open, not home opener, because they're in Montreal before the season opener on Wednesday. But yeah, I guess now we can talk about not Leaf stuff. Yeah, there's some debates, not debates, but just like I'm gonna go through the easy, not lighthearted, but like the easy stuff first. I don't want to talk about Jeremy Swayman. We're not going to talk about Jeremy Swayman.
Too many
all I'm
people
going to note about the Jeremy. Too many people are talking about Jeremy Swayman. I don't think we need to add to that discourse. I think, like, honestly, as someone who has actively been a fan through 2 messy RFA negotiations involving just a toxic media environment, in which it has like permanently shifted the perception of a player among the fan base for the most part. I don't want to add to it. We're not going to talk about Jeremy Swayman. All I'm going to say is that Boston is fumbling the bag hard right now because Korpisalo cannot be your game 1 starter. Pay the man what he wants at this point because like this is just getting ugly. It's just getting bad. You don't want to go down this route, Don Sweeney. I can promise you that. It is not going to end well for you. Yeah. But also as well, Boston claimed a goalie off of waivers from Vancouver. That happened yesterday. I think that's kind of a big deal because they're acquiring a goalie, which is further like because you're going to need to have someone in Providence to replace Brandon Bussey. If you have to call him up and have him be your backup to Joonas Korpisalo. Again, I'm saying that name because I really want to like drive this home that like Joonas Korpisalo cannot be your game 1 starter. He cannot be your starter in general. I know many of Sens fans who can tell you that he cannot be your game 1 starter. But yeah, also as well, the Amazon Prime series comes out tomorrow. We'll probably talk about it a little bit on Monday's episode. I know I'm doing something with Offside this weekend about it, so that's really fun. But yeah, so I will say enough with the spoilers. Stop. If you are a journalist who has gotten an advance preview of the show, stop spoiling it. Have you never watched a TV show before? And before you say, but don't you know how it ends? Yeah, but like I still would like to like not know what's going to happen between the start and the end. Like I know the basic plot points because I've lived it. But like I would have liked to discover that Connor McDavid is afraid of ketchup on my own time.
Literally, it's like
while watching the show and not have it spoiled to me on Twitter by a journalist who like I was actually surprised that you're allowed to share this much information and they didn't make you sign an NDA or something.
Like also I said this to you earlier, and I'm gonna say it again because it still makes me giggle to think about. Who is gonna be brave and go trick or treating to Connor McDavid's house dressed as a bottle of ketchup? Like, I I need to know what it'll take for him to open the
For
door.
some kid in Edmonton.
Did you just go dress up as
Hold
a
on,
bottle of
wait.
ketchup? And then he
Hold on.
incinerates them with his heated driveway.
It's right. Hold on. Before you even like say that, because I just want to make sure the Edmonton Oilers are like not in town. Like not in town, but they are like no, but like that's the thing is like there's all of these like articles that are coming out today about the Amazon series that like spoils plot points where I'm like, okay, what? Oh no, they're
Well, it's
in
like, oh, just leave it
Nashville
till
on
tomorrow.
October 31st. They're in Nashville on October 31st. So sorry,
Well,
no one can actually ring Connor McDavid's doorbell and have him answer. As dressed as a bottle of ketchup. Maybe, okay, if you are going to the Nashville Predators game and you can
please.
get up along the glass for warm-ups, maybe dress up as a ketchup bottle. I think that's hilarious. Um, but yeah,
That'd
no,
be
like that's the
brilliant.
thing. That's the only thing I'll have to say. It's like, have you guys never like it was like here I am to these like report these hot and I'm sure maybe like they have deadlines or like Amazon is telling them like, okay, now the day before the series comes out, here's what you can include in your articles about the show that you've watched.
Doesn't
But
mean you
like
should.
I was fine with like the very vague, like, oh, at 95 seconds into the first episode, like there's gonna be like there's a really like memeable moment that's gonna be made into a meme and every like but like
Mm.
right? But like that's it, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Or like people are saying like Jackie Redmond is great in the series, which I like knew was going to happen when I found out that she was one of like the if you've watched like one of the reporters that they talk to, if you watch like any of like the box to box, which is like the producing company who also because they also do Drive to Survive. If you've watched any of their shows, it's a very similar formula. I'm really, really waiting to see who gets turned into Will Buxton though, which means nothing to Marcie because she has not seen Drive to Survive.
I'm
But
watching it currently.
you're watching it currently? What
Yeah, I'm
season are
like
you on?
halfway through season 2.
Oh, so you get the like like the Will Buxton one line like Will Buxton like his one-liners, right? How they're like stupid.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you don't finish first, like if you finish first, you win, or like something stupid like that. My favorite one, my favorite one is one that he is like from season 6, it's from the last season, and he goes, Williams aren't bringing a knife to a gunfight, they're bringing a spoon. It's so good. I watched that, and then for like the next like 3 weeks after that, I was just I was walking around my apartment quoting that to myself, just like Williams didn't bring a knife to a gunfight; they brought a spoon. Because it like unapologetically that like goes actually really hard.
Yeah, I love it.
I like it's like I'm gonna
Oh, it's
like
brilliant.
oh yeah, they didn't follow anyone from Washington. It would have been great if they were following someone from Washington and they could have been like, Capitals didn't bring a knife to a gunfight. They brought a spoon. I'm sure someone could say that. Someone could argue it could be said about the Leafs, which like I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I just think like why like I don't know what's the point. Like I would like to like go into the series and like be able to get my genuine reaction to things that are happening instead of going in with being like, oh, this is gonna happen and this is gonna and we're gonna see this and we're gonna see that.
Mm. You
That's
see,
just
I
because I
feel like
already know how it's gonna end. So I like that's the thing for me. Like if I didn't know how it was gonna end, I'd be fine with being like, oh, we'll see a scene portraying this. But no, I know how it's going to end because I watched Game 7.
yeah, like I feel like because I've not been on Twitter much the last few days as well. I've not seen
Well,
like
my thing was like I got like a being like, oh, mind you, like said and like so and so reporter is going out like has like posted a huge thread full of spoilers like what you're gonna see in each episode. And I immediately muted him. But then people and here's my pet peeve, and people instead of quote tweeting him, which like you can quote tweet Greg, he's fine.
hmm.
Greg Wojcinski is fine. Like, he's like, it's not like you're like, you don't want to like quote tweet like Frank Saravalli or something. It's Greg. Like, quote tweet him all you want, right? Instead of quote tweeting him, which then would have hidden the tweet as well, and I wouldn't have known, are screenshotting it and tweeting that out, which pisses me off.
Yeah,
It's like, have you guys never watched a TV show before and how to properly address spoilers? I know we know how the show ends, but we also don't know what we're going to see in between the start and the end of the show.
We know how it ends, but we don't know the middle.
And you guys are spoiling the middle, and what I'm watching it for is the middle.
It literally, it's like a sandwich. We know what the bread is, but let's get the filling.
Let's get the.
I'm still thinking
there also is that. That looked like a great sandwich. There was also a clip. There was a clip of McDavid yelling that was put into the trailer, and then they posted, I think, close to the full clip with just like the swearing bleeped out, because you can't put swearing on like for social media purposes and trailer purposes. You have to bleep out the swearing. But they put like this clip of McDavid yelling, and I think like a lot of people are like, oh my god, this is like crazy, like I can't believe they put this in. I'm like, guys, if they're willingly giving you that clip before the show comes out, and like they're putting that in the trailer, that means that there's something better. That means that they got something better for the show, that they're willing to give you that. They're not going to give you the best clip they have of Connor McDavid. They have a better clip of Connor McDavid.
Maybe it's him being scared by the ketchup.
It's him being scared by the ketchup. I guess now we can talk about the Habs to finish off the show. Sens in Montreal on Tuesday. That was a late night for me because I watched that game for work purposes. Yeah. Arber Xhekaj, way to go, Department of Player Safety.
Yeah, when I said that we want consistency, this isn't the sort of consistency I was asking for.
No. So for those who did not watch the entirety and just saw the clip, because that was like another thing that kind of peeved me off, is I saw people who only saw the clip of the hit of Xhekaj on Stützle and didn't know the full context of what occurred in the game, only saw the clip of the hit, didn't know then like the resulting penalties of other things that led to that situation, and were then making a statement on false information. Like, I saw someone being like, oh, like, because this is all kind of because of the fact that Ridley Gregg laid a late hit. It was a late hit. It wasn't an illegal. Like, if the hit was on time, it would have been a fine hit. But the hit was late. And he properly got penalized for that because there was no head contact. All they could have given him was 2 minutes for interference, which he got. He couldn't have gotten any more than that because all it was a late hit. Yeah. Do I think he should have tried to avoid it? Yes, because it was late. But it was like there was no head contact there. It was right. Also, yeah. So then that got everyone fired up because Kirby Dach was slow to get up, but he was fine. He stayed in the game actually. And then later on, Xhekaj lays a borderline hit on Gregg. Okay. And then later on in the game, on a very similar, where it is a zone entry, and Stützle's got the puck, he passes it off to Chabot. Was on his one side, I believe. That's who he was passing it off to. It doesn't matter. He was passing it off to a Senator, because all I know is that Tkachuk was on his left. But he was passing off to a Senator, probably Pinto. It doesn't matter. It's inconsequential who he was passing it off to. And Xhekaj comes in with a late hit, a hit that is very much meant to land high. Whether it was meant to be head contact or not, it was meant to land high. People are like, oh, well, Xhekaj's like, he's a big guy. He's like 6'2", 6'4". Like, that's where he's going to hit high on guys. Zdeno Chara, I think, is probably the prime example of this, of a guy who was huge. He was 6'8"?
He's
Absolute
quite
monster. But
tall.
no, I think he was taller than. How tall is it? Zdeno Chara. How tall is Zdeno Chara? Because he was tall. Like, I remember he was like freak tall. Yeah, 6'9", 6'9". So I was what, throwing around 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, nice.
Freak tall man. His hits though, he knew how to hit because he was a defenseman, very physical defenseman. He knew how to
Yeah.
hit where his hits weren't, like, his elbows weren't at some guy's head.
Mm.
And I think any of the taller guys in the league who bring a really physical game. There's a difference between like violent and physical. You can have a physical game of hockey because that is the sport, but then there's also violent, and that is a different type of sport. That is a different type of play style. But any of the physical guys, like, I'm trying to think of like big physical guys. Matt Rempe is one of them. Any of the guys who are still trying to learn on how to hit within their larger bodies on guys who are smaller than them could actually probably do in part with mentoring, or at least a conversation with Chara, if Chara was willing to give out that advice. At least like try to find a way to reach out to him. I'm sure he would love to impart advice. He seems like a very nice. I don't know. I only see like pictures of him like running marathons now, like, and like doing Ironmans. That's all I see of Zdeno Chara now since his retirement.
Of him doing that is like getting like Facebook updates from like that like distant relative that you never see, but somehow you always know what they're up to just because you keep getting the Facebook updates.
And it is, but it's like that, like guys like that could like use from advice from him, who actually like. And that was the thing that really always stood out about his play style, is like he did bring a physical game. He was a physical defenseman, but like he was able, like, I don't remember him ever really laying like crazy high hits on guys.
No.
And that's what like he did so well. And why he like was so successful as a player throughout his career. But yeah, so Xhekaj goes high on Stützle. That's what I'm gonna say, because people are gonna argue about the head contact, because the head contact was Stützle's like stick to his face. But I'm gonna argue that Xhekaj's hit was high enough that when Stützle went to go move his hands to protect his face at the last minute, it knocked his stick into his face. I don't know what, like, that's the thing where I'm like, I don't know why we're arguing about the nitty gritty details of the hit. It's still a bad hit no matter which way you dice it.
Like, there's just certain things you can't do.
Tim Stützle's helmet flew off. If that doesn't tell you that it was a bad hit, I don't know what does.
And like it flew as well. It wasn't just it fell off. It was other end of the ice.
It probably ended up in Ottawa's bench, because that's right where they were.
Yeah, it flew all the way over to Manchester. That's how far it went.
But yeah, and so, so then Tkachuk, because that's Stützle, went after Xhekaj. All right. And Xhekaj. Now, I'm not going to say this as a dig to Montreal Canadiens fans. I don't. You know, I know when a guy turtles, he doesn't want to engage, but like people are like, oh yeah, Xhekaj, like blah 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 turtle, like Cedric Parry turtle, blah blah blah, someone turtle, blah. Brady Tkachuk always turtles, whatever they say, right? As soon as Brady Tkachuk starts going after Xhekaj for that hit, turtles. I'm stating a fact. I watched the game.
Yeah.
So Xhekaj ends up in the span of 2 preseason games with about 50 penalty minutes, because he gets 27 penalty minutes for that one hit and the resulting chaos. He ended up getting kicked out of the game again. And then eventually later on in the game, the score is settled anyways because Greg and Kirby Dach fight. So like they'll probably, not really like each other like next time the two teams play each other
Mhm.
later this season in the regular season. But like in terms of the in-game situation, the score has been settled. Doc won the
Yeah.
fight and then chirped a Sens fan as he was heading down the tunnel. Which is also like, if you're an opposing fan and you're in the other team's building, do not chirp the player as he's heading
It's
down the
not gonna
don't
end
do
well
that
for
with your
you.
girlfriend there. He's going there, call me. I'm sitting there like,
Oh,
no freaking way.
there's no recovering from that one.
Yeah. But yeah, no recovering. I will say though, that will get turned into a meme for the rest of eternity.
Yes.
The call me. Because he did the hand signal and
Yeah, it
everything
was
too. I'm like, that's
brilliant.
getting turned into a meme forever. I'm probably gonna
Oh,
end up using that at some point. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
um, but yeah, and then the thing is Jack Eye doesn't get a call from Department of Player Safety for that. All right, because the fine really surely taught him his lesson.
Oh yeah,
And like
that
that's just a thing where it's like I want to respect Jack Eye so much as a player. But he does something like this and I can't respect him because there's a difference between playing a physical game and
and being a
playing yeah, I had to keep it PG when I was on the radio yesterday, but I'm
bit.
like I'm not even allowed to say asshole on the radio, okay? Like
Oh my no! How do you
I have to
manage?
call them very bad people.
Oh, that's
We
brilliant.
were talking yeah. Um but like it just like this is how guys have shortened injuries. Like this is where I don't want to open a huge can of worms. And I know some people were saying, well, like, because you can lean into like you can veer a little bit into the fact of like, okay, but like, what if Arbor Guy was blonde and American? I would still say, hey, you cannot throw a
Still
hit like
shit.
that. I don't like hits to the head. I think hits to the head are something that the league has to take more seriously. And I feel like I'm yelling into the void when I say that with Gary Batman in charge,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So like I don't like hits to the head. I love a good
Yeah.
physical game of hockey. I grew up, loving watching a good physical game of hockey. I grew up, like my parents would have to like cover me and my sister's eyes if there was a fight during a game. But I grew up like loving that stuff, but also as well like I still love watching a good physical game of hockey. I think that's what makes hockey so much different from a lot of other sports. But
Yeah.
also as well, there has to be an ability where you can keep the physicality of the game, but you can also make the game safer. Luckily,
Yeah.
despite the fact that Kachuk, Shabbat, and Stutzla all left the game on Tuesday, all of them are fine and none of them are injured, but it could always be so much worse, especially with head injuries. And I
Yeah.
think that's something where it's like the league needs to punish those more severely. Like you cannot okay, I get it. Connor Geeky very blatantly broke a rule
Yeah.
last night against Florida. And you can't leave the bench to start an altercation. You're not allowed to do that. Like that's breaking a rule, but so is a
Yeah.
hit to the head. And I can't believe that leaving the bench to start an altercation was punished more severely than a hit to the head, than punching a guy in the back of the head.
Yeah. And it's like we, it annoys me because we wanted consistency. We didn't want consistently bad. Like we're not asking for much. We're just like making the game safer by essentially being like, yeah, for like what 3,000, however many dollars. You can just
3,300 and something, and like it was like 42 cents.
yeah, I remember the 42
Um,
cents. You can just
yeah,
go
it
for it,
doesn't.
like have fun. Like
That's a,
that's not
but like you have to, yeah. We talked about like how much that was, anyways. But yeah, that's just like my thoughts on the situation. I mean, also as well, we saw something similar last night in Tampa versus Florida, where it was Kucherov go like pulling a guy by the back of his jersey and going after him. You can't do that. Don't do that. The hit was, and it's the thing where it's like, it's every big hit, and it's like there's a difference between a big hit that's late that will then get called for interference. And if it get, you can't, like, just because it, like, right, like, if there's a, it's like the thing where it's like, we're okay, we may have reduced fighting, but we haven't made the game less violent. We haven't reduced the violence and the risks that comes along in terms of head injuries, and it just is like, no, I know it's the preseason, so guys are still trying to like get into like, okay, what's a hit? But like, we can't be doing this every time a guy throws a late hit.
No.
Where it's still like, if the hit was on time, it would be a legal hit. Like, that's the thing where it was like, we have to, like, guys have to know the difference between, okay, the hit was late. If I don't go after him, we get the power play because the guy gets called for interference. And I think some of that also comes down to like the reffing having to be more reliable and more consistent in calling those sort of things. But it's like, if the hit was legal but it was late, 9 times out of 10 they're going to call that for 2-minute interference, right?
Yeah.
If the hit was illegal and it was late, the ref is still going to call it. And maybe, okay, you then feel the need to go after the guy. All right. But like,
yeah,
you can't go after a guy for every late hit, or we'll never finish the game because everyone will keep getting thrown out and there'll be no one left on the bench.
Then it's coaches get the skates on.
Yeah, you're going to be caught, like, at some point, Marty St. Louis is going to be lacing them back up. But yeah, so here's another one. This is all via Sportsnet, this collection of story, but I got it. Thank you to Lee Slatus, who is really good at putting together some pretty in-depth, like, quotes and stuff. It's still, like, in the format of a tweet, but it is always the full quote and very succinct. More about the Laine stuff. So Laine suffered a sprained knee. He'll be out 2 to 3 months, which is best case scenario. I think I discussed it last episode. Like, that was like the best case scenario was sprained. I believe that's exactly what I said it probably was.
Yeah, I think so.
Can we roll back I'm not gonna edit like roll back the tape and put me saying that in there. I don't have that much time on my hands. But and then Reinbacher, surgery on knee, 5 to 6 months. He'll be out. And then there was this quote from Laine about like the incident with Pare that I'm just going to bring up because it is, pretty notable since experience. The Maple Leafs had to deactivate Cedric Pare's social media accounts due to the harassment and death threats he received after the incident, which, like, Montreal Canadian fans, like, I want to respect you because I want to respect fans from other fan bases, like from rival fan bases. I think like there has to be a level of mutual respect there. I don't respect you for that.
No.
I think the fact that you find it necessary to leave death threats on a hockey player's account when the guy that, like, when, like, even Laine was like, I'll be back, like, it's fine. Look, I get it, you love your players, but, like, there's a line.
Yeah.
These guys are also human beings, too. Like, the fact that the team had to step in to deal with it is brutal.
Yeah.
And here's another quote. Despite the backlash, Laine seems to have forgiven Pare, or at least does not blame him, saying, I do not think anybody is trying to hurt anybody. Hockey's a fast game, and I kind of put myself in that situation a little bit, trying to make a stop. It's just an unfortunate collision, and he texted me afterward, which I respect him for.
Big time.
Which I think tells you exactly where, like, everyone should stand on the information. It was unfortunate, and I think I think and I think that like the fact that Laine says like it happens. This sport is so fast, which is true. And I think that's, I guess, also what we were saying last episode. It's just like, sometimes, pardon my French, shit happens. Especially in the sport of hockey, where freak accidents happen all the time. Freak injuries are so common because everything moves so fast. And when you have stuff that moves so quickly, like it's so hard. Like the human body just can't react fast enough to avoid situations. And, I think it's a nice touch by Pari as well to reach out to Line afterwards and apologize and just say, like, sorry, but, like, feel bad. Like, I think there's, like, a shine. Yeah. So I think just Line has handled it gracefully. Yeah. I think, I will, always be rooting for him as well as just a player, as a player. So I hopefully that's the last we have to ever talk about this until Line makes his return to the Habs lineup before Christmas. Fingers crossed before Christmas. Sprained knee. Like, guys, he's in an articulated knee brace with arm crutches.
Good luck to him.
I just got like 7 notifications all at once. But it's all offside. But yeah, with that being said, oh, the one more thing I have is that Tyson Barrie's signed a 1-year, $1.25 million contract with the Calgary Flames today.
When?
Like, while I was in class. Did you not know this?
No. What?
You need to just like download the TSN app so you get all the TSN notifications that I get when it comes to hockey signings, because I can't believe I get to be the one to tell you this.
Oh my. What? I'm gonna have to just process this and give my reaction on Monday.
You can process the news. I'm sure also as well. You could probably watch him in a game, I think, this coming weekend. I think the Flames probably have at least one preseason game left. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, I think we'll end it there with that discussion. We'll be back on Monday to discuss the last two Leafs preseason games and kind of lead into the season that starts on Wednesday. Well, the actual season technically starts tomorrow because global series, but that's such absolute bullshit. Not bullshit. The global series is important, but it's like, oh, it's the actual start. The 2 season start dates are confusing everyone. But the official start date is the 8th, which is Tuesday, but the Leafs don't play their first game until Wednesday against the Habs. It'll be something. And we'll talk all about that on Monday, on Monday's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back on Monday, like I said. I forgot to say that this is an offside podcast, offside news podcast. You can find them on all social platforms. Literally every single one. They are there. They even are on Tumblr. Yes, that is right. You can find them on Tumblr at Offside News Co. You can also find them on the internet as a website at offsidenewsco.com. All of that information is in the show notes as always. You can follow the show on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. That's 4th with the number 4 TH, so you never miss another episode. And you can also find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to hear more from us between episodes, you can follow Marcie on Twitter at 60Leafs. You can follow myself at PearB1. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back on Monday, and go Leafs go!